Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at render versus US dollar on the daily time frame. And since November, we laid out a course. We laid out this path for render following the fuchsia colored line here. And kind of followed it out to a T, I must say. Pretty much. A little we drew this when render was price action was back here third week in November, I guess. Made it up here a little bit after our prediction, but did essentially hit the highs and lows of this ziggly line. And it wasn't meant to be exact, but it meant to the key was that it would come up to this level, come down to this level, come up to this level, come back down here, trading within this parallel channel that we laid out and along the midsection here. And now we are at the bottom of the parallel channel here. And next move would be upwards. Now, I want to look at the RSI. The RSI has reset down here. Oops, didn't mean to do that, but it's important when a lot of people talk about like bearish RSI, whatever, or what bearish divergence, all that. So yeah, so we had a high here and a lower high on the RSI with a higher high on the price action. So yeah, bearish divergence, but it's played out. It's not going to continue. It's played out. It's reset. So we're ready to have the RSI continue upwards again, make a little run at it again. That's what it does. It goes up, it resets here, goes up, resets here, goes up. So this has been a big reset. It would indicate we potentially have a nice little rally coming. So we shall see. Well, it is a big move. It would be a big move back up here from where we're at currently at 383 up to like maybe 575. Here it didn't come all the way up to the top. So it came up to about 525, I think it was, I remember. And 543 was the top, so about $20 shy of the top. So yeah, maybe around 560, 70-ish, I believe. Looking at the end of January for that to happen. Well, now let's not get our time frames really hard here, because you can see here that my little line came to the top on December 18th, and it didn't hit there till a week later, a week or so later. So, but anyway, yeah, sometime around the end of January, early February, maybe we get back up here. And then that's when everybody's been calling for a kind of just down and sideways kind of action, and I think that's where we're going to get it. I've been predicting this as well too, but and it seems to be coming into play. I have said that it should continue through mid to late January. I've been saying for a long time. Late January, maybe into February. I don't know, but then I do expect a long kind of gradual decline. You know what? Maybe it might be more volatile than we're thinking. Yes, downwards and sideways, but possibly more volatile leading into the halving event. So having said that, let's go look at Bitcoin. And I have to switch charts here because I said so. Okay, what do I got going on here? Oh shit! Come on, there we go. Where am I here today? Let's pause. So here we are now looking at Bitcoin on the hourly time frame, and it looks like Bitcoin's making a little move here already. Quickly, let's look at futures. Futures is trading at about a $50 to $60 now premium to spot. So that's good. Well, it's better than it was. It's not great. It should be a lot more. But I think, you know what, with these Wall Street boys in now, they're going to be playing games with futures and ETFs and moving money here and there. Gives you more ways to trade a single asset like Bitcoin. And yeah, just don't always believe what you see on the different futures, ETFs. They're going to be going up and down. I think they're going to try to manipulate one or the other and try to manipulate Bitcoin spot price by using the um, other whatever you call them methods of trading. So have seen volume pick up here since futures opened yesterday. So, and I've heard others say that they do not believe this rally is quite over yet, and I agree. I've always agreed. It's always been my I've always maintained that belief, and I do believe that we will continue on up here to around between 58 and 62,000 before beginning that gradual decline to so we're on the hourly, so that's about as much as I can squish in. So this is supposed to be brief. I don't want to get into a lot of stuff here, and I'm on my phone, so it's harder to show. But this weekend, since Friday, Bitcoin, since this big dump, Bitcoin has been, you can clearly see, oscillating around this center line here, this dash center line. We did come down, shake out some people right here. You know, if I look on a bigger chart, you can see where the levels we hit. But that's not what I want to talk about right now. Well, you can clearly see that this green line has been tested as support. We did come down to this other line here, but I want to get back to this center line that we are clearly oscillating around. This is a new channel that I drew because I did see price action, and I forget what it was, interacting with something. But essentially, that channel is very similar to the green parallel channel that we had been trading in here. Here's the bottom of the green parallel channel. Here's the top of the green parallel channel. And we have broken out of that. And like I said back here, we just tested it as support. We're trying to get back in this blue one. We did, and here we've fallen out of it again. And that was a little bit further of a drop than I had predicted. If you remember, I thought that we would trade over the weekend within the blue, right at the between the bottom of the blue parallel channel and the white dashed top of our ascending triangle from the past month or so, couple months. Where does that go back to? How far does that go back? Yeah, since early December, that's been resistance, that white dashed line. And we have broken out of it. A couple breakout attempts, failed breakout attempts. But in reality, and I've said this many times, until we break this red line up here, It was fuchsia colored before and thicker, and I changed it to red and just to differentiate it from other things. Um, until we clearly break out of there, this red line, we're still trading in this range right here between in this parallel channel between these two red lines. Now, so let's get back to this channel here, which this purplish dashed line is the center line of. Very similar to the green parallel channel, but twice as big and slightly different. And here's the bottom of it, and here's the top of it. Now let's go to a daily time frame so we can look at it a little bit better. You can see I have two green parallel channels stacked on top of one another, and then this fuchsia colored parallel channel, and it goes back to here, right here in June of 2022, and you can see that it catches the tops, the highs here, this price action, and the lows here. Well, my cursor doesn't move when I want it to. The lows over here. The center line catches this price action here, etc., etc. Now, what's really, really interesting is because I've been really divided on whether we're going to continue to pump up to the $60,000 area like I thought, or if a scenario was setting up where we would come down and test this $31,000 area like Gerber Baby predicts we will. He's dead set on us coming down and retesting this structure back here. Now, I maintain that we already retested the structure right here, where I've made this fluorescent green circle. Now, it was on the 5-minute, nothing more than a 5-minute retest of this line, which anybody would laugh at. But I still maintain that Bitcoin said, hey, this is all the time we're going to give this BS and we're going to move on. We got things to do. And that's clearly what we've done. I think the main retest that Bitcoin will do is this 48,000 or well, possibly this level right here around 4042 where we're having resistance right now. So yeah, maybe we do come up to 58. We'll have to think this out because in looking at where we're at in the areas that we're retesting right now, well, kind of currently right now we're testing 4042, and if you scroll back here, boy, I'm getting into this a lot more than I intended to. Scroll back here, this 4042 region is the first high. There's 41.8 right there. Back in 2021 when we were making our parabolic move upwards in the bull run. So that's around 42,000 right there. What is this right here? That's about 40,100 right here, that wick. So we're testing this range right here for support. You can see right now price action is clearly hitting resistance right here at this lower wick here at 42.5. So that's the range we're testing right now. And here you go again, another support level right there at 42 and some change, 42, about 42.5, 42.6. You can see all along here that Bitcoin is testing support and resistance in this level. And that's what we're currently doing. So I don't believe we're going to go much all along here. Look at all the support and resistance that right there. We're testing this for support right here at that top, which was previous resistance, about 43,000. So there's plenty of it back there from our 21 price action, the 21 bull run. And so I believe that's what we're doing right now. And the next level of support we will be testing is around 48,000. I'll have to look back and see exactly what but Well, that's the price that it's going to be at the halving event, I believe, 48,000. And I've made videos about this in the past, and you can go back and look at them. But I believe it. A lot of people believe as well that, well, 48,000 is one that a lot of people say we won't get higher than before the halving. I think we will get higher than before the halving because we always go past the price that we are at halving and then come back down into it. So, anyway, okay, we're on the daily time frame. So the point I'm making here, I was talking about, are we going to go up to 60? Are we going to come back down to 31? First of all, I don't think there's any chance in hell we're going to come back down to 31. I mean, outside some sort of black swan. Maybe Gary Gensler has something up his sleeve. But I think all the big boys are going to be, but if we do see a dump further, all the big boys are going to be buying it up here in this range, 38-ish. Possibly we come down to the center line of the green parallel channel around 37,000. If we do dump, I don't think we are yet. I think we have another run to make, especially with all the ETF stuff going on and adoption, mainstream adoption. Excuse me. So, back to the center line that I was talking about. Are we dumping down to 30? Are we going up to 60? Well, as it so happens, this center line that we've been trading around right here is the center of this lavender purple channel. And the bottom of that purple channel is right here at 31,000. Where's my cursor? Yeah, about 32,000. Well, it depends on where we hit it. 31,000 to 32,000 is the bottom of that parallel channel. And where's the top? The top is right here at 61,000 and some change. As well as the top of our blue parallel channel and the top of the green parallel channel stacked on top of the original, which I've already said is approximately the lavender channel anyway, as well as all these other, you can see the purple parallel channel that we've been trading in, the orange parallel channel we've been trading in, all of them congregate here at around 61,000 towards the beginning of February, end of January, beginning of February, and that falls in line with what I was thinking for Render and many other assets in the market. If you look at, and we're not going to do it now, but if you look at many of the other assets, they're either forming ascending triangles over like the past year and a half period, or on various time periods, I should say, or cup and handle patterns, and they aren't quite to the top where the top of the cup is yet. A lot of the tokens are like that, and Bitcoin is, well, I'd have to zoom out and try to really gauge what Bitcoin's doing on a larger time frame, and I haven't done that. But oh, this is really, really funny. Okay. So here we are on the weekly. Why don't I have this on the daily? Did I erase it from the daily? Is that why? Anyway, I thought it was here. And now I see it on the weekly. So what I did is I was looking at the RSI from the past, where we've reset in the past with, well, I'm not going to move that. But so this one was on a weekly. This one that I pulled was on a weekly. That's why the candles are fatter. This one below here in the yellow was on a daily. But I was wondering if it was unreasonable to think price action would follow the path that I thought. I thought, well, what we're the RSI and what we're doing here looks very similar to what we've done just recently here in the past. And so I took this, was it from right here? I believe it was from right here. You know what? Let me just, yeah. Of course, I can't pick it up now. Oh, because it's capturing the wicks. That's why it looks a little bit different. So I took that pattern from where we traded in March of 23 through June of 2023. And I pulled it over here, and this is it right here, this part right here. And I think that's very reasonable to expect from Bitcoin. I think this is a very reasonable expectation for price action. You can clearly see that we kind of had this little hump here, came down, and now we will have this little hump up here. That brings us to mid-February here, and then come back down into the halving at about 48,000 right there. I think this, of course, it's not going to play out exactly like this, but I think something like this is very reasonable to expect right here. We even have it coming down and interacting with the center line of the green parallel channel here and the blue parallel channel right here. This is a very reasonable expectation for the coming month or coming months leading into the halving, and then bouncing here. I don't know if I don't think this is really accurate here. I think maybe more gradual. I don't think we'll have a big pump up like that, but yeah, I don't know. We'll address that when we get there. So I'm glad I found this on the weekly, and it's not on the daily, is it? I think I erased the visibility because it's not on the daily. So there you have it. Okay, it's gone on much longer than I anticipated. Let's see where we're at now. We did pull back a little bit from the $43,000 range. Let's go to the hourly and see what we're doing. Of course, on the hourly, where are we? We're right here at the center line I was talking about. Oh boy, you gotta love it, right? So that's that. And like, subscribe, and see you next time.